Today I'm going to be going over 5 different exercises that will help alleviate foot pain. So let's get started. I'm first going to take off my shoes. I recommend doing these all bare feet. Also, if you guys are looking for an all-around training shoe, not only in and out the gym, these ballistic trainers from GoRuck are the perfect shoe. You guys can check them out below. Use code MARGAUX, which is MARGAUX 10, and I'll give you 10% off. Seriously, best training shoe ever. All right, so let's get started. First exercise, we will need some equipment. So also, if you guys need to get some equipment, you can check out the links below. But this is a lacrosse ball. If you don't have a lacrosse ball, you could do a tennis ball, maybe even a golf ball, maybe a baseball or softball if you're kids, or if you have some extra balls around, feel free to use those. So lacrosse ball, we're gonna start on our right foot. And if you have a watch or timer, you can just go ahead and get that started. We're going to kind of utilize that today as a timing component. Again, we're going over 5 different exercises, so make sure you stay tuned to the end. These will give you kind of a variety of pieces of equipment, but I will also make sure to give you guys substitutes, like I just did with the lacrosse ball. All right, so this first one, you're going to, if you guys can kind of see the foot, I'm going to roll kind of side to side. Oh no, I might sneeze. You're going to roll side to side on your foot. You're putting pressure, you're leaning forward. You have that clock kind of started. We're going to do 30 seconds kind of side to side. You can roll up and down the foot side to side, but you want to try to work from the left to the right, left to the right. I use the red lacrosse ball, so hopefully you guys can see a little better. So I'm going to kind of work my way closer to the heel. At one point, your arch of the foot or the heels may come off, toes may come off, but then as I get a little lower, I can go again side, side. I'll eventually get to the heel here, side, side. I'm still trying to go side to side. Side to side. You might have some scar tissue crunchiness in there like I do right now. Once you hit about the 30-second mark, you're then going to go lengthwise, so heel to toe, and then you're actually going to try to get to the inside of the arch, right? So I'm trying to go on the side, kind of a 45-degree angle here with the lacrosse ball, go nice and slow, lengthwise from heel to toe. Now, if you're like, oh man, it's hard just to go one way, that's fine. Just have a minute and do 1 minute going side to side, lengthwise. If you find the spot's tender, try to kind of push into it, lean into it, deep breath in. And then exhale. People don't realize breath work is very important to help you get the body relaxed. Say, for example, you're getting a massage and all of a sudden you're like holding your breath, right? Breathing will help you relax the body, relax that muscle, depending on what the massage therapist is working on. All right, so after that 1 minute, we're gonna switch, same thing. So hopefully you guys can see from the inside. So from the inside here, like I said, I'm going top to bottom, trying to arch or angle that foot a little bit. Depending on what side you want to start on, you could do right foot first, left foot first, totally up to you. But I like to, again, I typically start on my right foot. I've been having more tightness on my right side, more crunchiness, we'll say. I actually did have plantar fasciitis a long time ago, so I typically tend to start on my right side because of that. But again, tomato, tomato, whatever works. So again, 30 seconds lengthwise or side to side, and then 30 seconds. Make sure you get to the heel. Again, it may not feel the most comfortable, but you're gonna rock side to side, push into it, breathe, right? Find an area that's crunchy, tender, kind of same thing with the foam rolling aspect, right? If you find a spot that's tender, sit and breathe into it, deep breath in, and deep breath out. Awesome. Once you finish that, we're gonna get to the next exercise. Now, we're gonna be doing this with a kettlebell. You can also do this with a foam roller. I'll show you guys both, but the kettlebell allows you to get a little more of a pinpoint. Everybody loves to roll out their body. Just kidding, sarcasm. All right, so same thing, right foot. I typically like to start close towards the ankle, but you are gonna roll in, roll out, kind of side to side. You're gonna point your foot, flex your foot, make a circle one direction, make a circle the other direction. If this is not enough and you want more, add that opposite leg on top, same thing. Woo, left, right, spicy, spicy, make a circle, flex, point. If you want even more, lift the hips. Ooh, clearly I'm really tight. All right, after you do that, you're gonna go up about 1/2 inch. Same thing, side to side, make a circle, point, flex, and then you're gonna continuously work up to the top of the calf. Now, if you're pressed for time, give yourself that 1 minute clock to kind of roll side to side. But again, ideally you want to work from the base to the top or from the top to the base, up to you. I personally like to go from the ankle bottom of the calf up towards the top of the calf. This will be a little more meaty, so I might spend more time up there, the gastrocnemius and then the soleus. So again, side to side, I can angle my foot in a little bit, angle it out, always add that extra leg on top. Same thing, go a little bit higher. Remember, you can always add by adding the opposite leg. You can even lift the hip. The focus here is to roll out the calf with that kettlebell handle. I used to do this a lot in my early days of CrossFit and early days of training. It was very, very spicy, we'll say. Enchby, come here. Enchby, come. All right, so again, once I get to the top of the calf, then I can kind of just breathe there for a second, hold, lift the hips, and then do the same thing on the opposite side. Now I'm gonna demonstrate with the foam roller real quickly. So if you don't have a kettlebell, you could grab a hard PVC pipe. This one I've had for years. It's literally, you could get it from a Lowe's or a Home Depot, right? You could also order a foam roller if you need something more protective. So if you are very tender and you don't stretch out and roll out, your parts of your body are gonna be very desensitized. So starting off with a foam one, foam squishy one will be easier than the hard PVC pipe. So same thing here, side to side. Now because on this foam roller PVC pipe, I can roll top to bottom. So that is the advantage of doing a foam roller versus a kettlebell, but I'm just giving you guys options. I can even roll to the side of the calf, get the peroneals up and down, bend and straighten. But the same concept applies where you can utilize the foam roller for that kettlebell. I would recommend changing it out and doing a little bit of both. All right, next exercise, you're gonna grab a block. If you don't have a block, you could use a slant board, maybe a 45-pound weight. If you have a house that has stairs in it, you can utilize a stair. But essentially, we'll get that block set up. You're gonna get about half of your foot on the block, so think balls to the foot arch, and then you're slowly going to drop the heel to the floor. Notice that the block will come up slightly on the opposite side. That's okay. If this is too much, then you could always start with your heel on the ground, bring the balls of the foot to the block, and then lean forward. So a slant board will do the similar aspect, similar concept. Same thing on the stairs. Stairs a little different where the heel's just dropping, similar to this. But while I'm here, again, hold for 30 seconds. While I'm here, you're gonna hold with the entire body kind of stacked over each other, meaning shoulders, hips, knees, ankle. After the next 30 seconds, you're gonna bend the knee, and then you're gonna straighten. You're gonna bend the knee, and then you're gonna straighten. You're gonna squeeze really tight, and then you let loose from my favorite movie. And when you do this, make sure the knee's kind of facing forward. I'll pivot so you guys can see from that angle. So just make sure that as you bend, the knee's not collapsing in a lot. If it goes out a little bit, that's okay. Typically, I've seen with clients, the knee kind of comes in a little bit. If it comes to like the first toe, that's fine, but if it's really collapsing in like inside the arch, try to avoid that, really focus on pushing the knee out to the middle of the foot. So same thing, 30 seconds of the straight-legged stretch, and then 30 seconds of that bent leg stretch. Now, again, as I'm leaning forward, that side of the block may come off, totally fine. 30 seconds, you may notice that one side is tighter than the other or has more tightness. That's okay. Typically, one foot or one side of the body will be more tight, more loose, etc. And then same thing, 30 seconds, and then we'll bend, straighten, bend, straighten. Now, the degree of the bend will be dependent on you. The goal of this bend, straighten, as you notice, is my heel is still in contact with the floor as I do this. If you're really tight, that may not be the case. All right, so we've done the kettlebell, or the lacrosse ball rolling with the arch, the kettlebell calf rollout or PVC pipe. The third one is this slant board or block stretch. The next two are gonna be on the floor. I'll put this away, even though I might use it later for my back. All right, so I'm gonna show this kind of a side profile. Hopefully you guys can see. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. We're gonna start off with our toes tucked. So you're trying to get the balls of the feet kind of off of the edge, toes are tucked, and then I'm gonna sit on my calf here. Knees are gonna be close together. If you can't do knees together, a little bit of a splay apart, it's okay. Also, you may notice, I should have wore different color socks, not black socks, but notice the kind of heels come apart a little bit, that's okay. But the idea and the focus is kind of get toes close together. It is one of those days again. All right, so I'm sitting on my heels. Now, if you've never done this, this will be very challenging. Try to do 30 seconds. If you cannot do 30 seconds, try 15 or 20 seconds, then get to 30 seconds. Eventually, you'll get to 45 seconds, and then eventually a minute. So you should feel this in the arch. You might feel this in the toes. If you never put your foot in this position, it will be challenging. Don't be afraid to kind of come out, tap the feet a little bit if need be, and then come back into that stretch. If it is very difficult, you can alternate between the fifth and final exercise. So the fifth and final exercise, we're gonna untuck those toes, we're gonna sit back on our feet, and then we're just gonna lean back slightly here. So this is gonna be a stretch actually for the front of the calf here, and actually a little front of the ankle. So essentially up this area. If you run, walk a lot, that area may be very, very tight. So here's something you guys can do with fourth and fifth exercise. I could start here for 30, 15, 45 seconds, whatever we have. Then you could switch to this for 15, 30, 45 seconds, and then you can go back to there. Now, this is if you can't hold for 30 seconds straight, right? Eventually you'll get to the point where you can do a minute straight. This is a great exercise for the arch of the foot, toes specifically. Now, these are all exercises that are gonna alleviate your feet. So if you sit a lot, if you drive a lot, right? If you have a stick shift, if you're very active in terms of being on your feet or moving or lifting construction, this is a great exercise. These are great exercises to do to help you. Again, that was about the time frame. We'll come on out. And now we'll wrap the exercises. If you guys found this very helpful for you, please share with others. Please, please, please. It would help me immensely so I can reach more people. It'll help me grow my channel. And hopefully this will all pay off down the road. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. If not, I'll see you guys for the next video.